Well, good evening, Internet. It's me, DP Knudten, for another Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done, which is all about the creation of a brand new book by January 1st of 2021. Now, the way I've been doing it is I've been coming down here every night at around this time to spend about maybe around half an hour to an hour working on the book, moving it forward, because I know that's the only way I'm going to get this thing done. You know, I work during the day and spend some time with my family at night and then work on this a little bit to keep things moving forward. And it's kind of an accountability thing. I made a promise to you and by reflection to myself to actually work on this thing by making a public declaration that I am in fact going to do 301 consecutive live streams working on the book. And so far, so good. I mean, today is October 5th, and that means I've been doing this for 213 consecutive days, and that I have 88 days left to go in this little thing. And by the way, I'm feeling pretty good because last night I compiled the book into its actual format that will be in Microsoft Word, and it came out to 251 pages. Since my goal was about 250 pages, I'm feeling really good about that. And, you know, that allows me to actually go through and maybe delete some stuff that I don't think is as strong. I'm not quite at that phase yet. I still have all of October and all of November to write the book. And then December is going to be all about doing the final edit and formatting of the book, getting everything perfect so that I can upload it on January 1st of 2021. Yep. Everything has to be wrapped up by the 31st of December because the very next day I'm uploading the files to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing space. Yay. So that's very interesting and going to be very exciting. But for now, I got to work on this thing. So what am I going to do? Well, actually, I'm going to work on a section in the book, which you can see right here. What's it called? It's called the undeniable attractivity of vulnerability. I started working on this last night, and I didn't get all that far because I wanted to let my brain go. This thing, that's an Audubon bird call, as you can read, and I started writing about it. You know what this is? As you can read in the picture, it's an Audubon bird call. The way it works is simple. Simply hold the red, shown in gray here, wooden barrel. That's the wooden barrel between your thumb and forefinger, between the thumb and forefinger of one hand, then use the other pair, thumb, finger, pair, forefinger, the other pair to twist the metal key. What happens? You'll hear a high-pitched squeal and squeak that works wonderfully in drawing out curious birds for easy bird watching. How's it work? How's that work? It uses a time-tested technique that works on animals of all species. It imitates the sound of an injured member of a specific community, in this case, avian. But it also, in this case, avian, but the concept works across the entire spectrum. Animalia. What is animalia? Animalia is zoological zoos, Latin. I'm going to have to look this up. Animalia is a kingdom. That's what it is. Animal. The kingdom the entire biological kingdom. Kingdom. I want to make sure I get the usage right. Biological kingdom. The entire biological anomalia. Amalia. What is anomalia? What is there's first noticed this unnamed phenomenon when I was a grad. This student at named at the University of Southern California. This student, I would have to drive into campus from Southern California on one of LA's notorious to drive into campus from Southern freeways on one of every day notorious and had numerous opportunities to observe and had numerous the way opportunity humans to is that coming out? Am I talking? I am talking. That's annoying. The way humans deal with traffic. One game I played was never hit the brakes. Never hit the brakes. That's what I did. Try to never even touch my brake pedal in order to maintain sometimes slow, but always moving forward motion. The other game I played was Don't Look. Don't Look. I came up with the rules for this game were equally simple. If I saw a car off to the side of the road. Don't look at it. Keep focused straight ahead. And when paired with never hit the brakes, comma, those two games kept me moving along just fine. There was just one problem, though. I was the only one playing that game, playing either game. Everyone else was rubber necking the disabled car pulled over driver. Terrible accident. Minor bender. Pulled over driver. So sorry, I had to sneeze. I wanted to hit my sneeze button, and I hit the theme music button instead. Sorry. Everyone else was rubbernecking the disabled car, pulled over driver, minor fender bender, or terrible accident. It didn't matter what it was or how severe. Matter was or how severe the situation. If there was a car off to the side of the road, there was a sudden, completely unnecessary stop in forward traffic flow. That's when I realized something. That's when I realized something that relates, that brings, that together two seemingly disparate things. LA traffic and Audubon Bon bird calls. The dynamic that they were the same thing. They were the same thing. An external phenomenon that triggered a biological response in their respective organisms. They were the same thing. Mixer organisms. The birds, hearing the call of an injured flock member, come out of hiding to see what's going on, and perhaps whether they could render some assistance. Dying with LA drivers. Except the assistance part. There are simply, I use simply a lot. There are some things that command attention that can even penetrate the don't bother me bubbles of commuters late for work. And typically all related to conditions of vulnerability. Why do we rubberneck to see sympathize? Sympathize. Sympathy. Sympathize. God, I can't spell. To see, sympathize, and celebrate it's not us. Not us. just how much of space dedicated media equivalent of rubber necking try this test. To the mouse. Head on over to your feed. Then scroll down, counting the number of injured bird bender type you run into. This is especially try it again. On the algorithmically created video. Watch feed. In mind that watch feed is continually being calibrated to keep you watching longer. It serves you up the stuff that forces you to stay on site longer. The number of count the number of soldier family reunions. Lost pet family reunions. Long lost lover. State flame outs. massive fails. Tearful confessionals. And weak person flips the script and owns the bully situations. These are all about full human vulnerability. And they are the video version of crack, of whatever, what's it, addictive substance you can think of. Mm-hmm. And so the funny thing is, now I'm over here, I'm looking at Facebook, exactly what I'm talking about. Michael Keaton on tattoos, because I watched some tattoo stuff. Jagged Little Pill, learning the Alanis Morissette, la 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 la. Oh, that's from the set of the new musical, Jagged Little Pill. Yeah, so it's already sucking me in. As you've read about already, comma, I love the work and wisdom of how's it, Brene Brown. Oh, let's look that up. Search videos, because then I'll get Brene Brown. Okay, there we go. Oh, and look who shows up. Hello, Brene. Vulnerability. Her is has been a massive influence on my thinking about this, about this core idea for creating social media activity that tracks, engages, and converts. Don't converts. All comes down to Vulnerability. I gotta see. Let me give you a breathing example of this. That's right now. My friend, or I should see, I've written about him, haven't I? B. Yeah. Well, I haven't done that yet. I haven't written about George B yet. Or do I? George R.R. Martin. George Gershwin. George B. Thomas. Okay, I talk about him just once in passing. All right. I think I want to write him about vulnerability. Brian George B. Thomas, who I wrote about earlier. Got a stunning diagnosis in late 2019. I think I want to get George. I'm going to email him post. Getting my email feed up so that I can go. Let's see. George B. Thomas. I'm not sure which is. George. And like to talk you about ongoing your on health journey. Okay. And how it's affecting. Yeah. Affects, you have to affects affecting your, well, develop as this sound like something you'd be okay with. Certainly don't want to intrude, but I have been inspired, for example, others. Nope. new what you think. See if I could get him on talking about this. That would be fantastic. Because he's a really cool guy, very vulnerable, and I've learned so much from him about trying to let go of the, I don't know, kind of BS part of it, and embrace the true. So yeah, why don't I wait to see what happens there? All right, so I've written a bunch of words. Let's see, where did I leave off? Last night I added these words. About 530 words, which if I can do 530 words a night, I feel good about. And frankly, now that the book has kind of reached its good place phase, I guess, you know, with 250 words. With about 250 pages. I'm feeling very good about that. As I said earlier, that would allow me to get rid of some weak stuff if I need to. So I think what I'm going to do is wait to hear from George, because he would be great to get in here. And I had already thought about and planned to use talking. Actually, I want to grab some of it. I want to take this up to so I want to hear from him. Probably do a section about this too. Maybe. I like the vulnerability story better, so maybe I'll just axe that. We'll see. I'm going to highlight that as something. Do I want to talk about that, or do I want to write about this other stuff? I think I want to write about the other stuff. So that's where I'm going to end tonight. Good place to end. Yeah, why not? Oop, eep, up. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to end this tonight right here because I want to hear from George. He'd be a great get to get on the podcast. I haven't had him on probably in 6 months or so. So, and he's always a great one to talk to, and especially about this, which I think, you know, I think he's going to be leaning into this vulnerability in a big way, and I want to hear how he is. So it happens to coincide with something in my book I want to write about. So let's get the guy on record and in the book and on the podcast as well. So what podcast am I talking about? I'm talking about Nonfiction Brand, my podcast, which comes out every single Monday, including today. Yep, a new episode dropped this morning with Andy Crestadina of Orbit's Media Studios in Chicago. Fantastic guy, really great conversation, gave me a ton to think about, and I think he'll give you a ton to think about too. So check out the Nonfiction Brand podcast wherever you get your fine podcasts for free. And also, if you like it, give it a thumbs up like, but don't stop there. Subscribe to it, refer it to others, and if you really want to do me a solid, give it a starred review. I don't care how many stars you give it, although I like the higher number of stars. I think that speaks for itself. But give an honest review about it, because that'll help other people find it. That's it for me. You can find the podcast wherever podcasts are free. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Spotify, yada, yada, yada. Just all over the place. So search Nonfiction Brand. Look for this image, not the book, but the Nonfiction Brand with the photo of me, and you'll know you've got the right podcast. That's it for me tonight. I will see you tomorrow, but until then, theme music, take us on out.